So, this show turned out a lot worse than I was hoping it wouldn't be. Why did I even waste my time with this one? Look, the biggest reason as to why I even decided to tune into a CPW event in the first place, aside from the fact that I watch way too much wrestling to begin with, was because I was hoping that their promotion would be better than boring or unremarkable like so many other independent wrestling promotions around the world. Unfortunately, Saturday Night Rising Star's grand opening, while impressive enough in its presentation at first, was no different from any other boring ass indie that I've wasted my time on previously. There wasn't a single memorable or worthwhile moment to discuss, even a little bit coming off of the 2 hours that this was on for. Not one wrestler on the show outside of maybe Shima and the Joshi wrestlers were able to hold my attention for all that long. And even for as short as some of the matches went, it was hard for me to care about anything that they were doing because it was so utterly boring to watch. It really is a shame to have such a pretty looking venue go to waste like that. It will never not be underwhelming to see a nice looking wrestling ring just go completely to waste like it did here. At least if this show were outright trash, I might have more interesting, although likely displeasing things to talk about. In a way, it is remarkable for how a grand opening, it wasn't all that grand at all. And in fact, the use of the word grand here is almost bastardized with how meaningless it was from start to finish. I'm not nearly as curious about the show that came after this one than I am with whatever the grand closing might even look like if we ever get to that point. And judging off of the cards that came after this one, at least on paper, don't seem all that redeeming whatsoever. I could do without another outright boring time vampire of a wrestling event, let alone an entire promotion that seems to consistently deliver just that. Beyond that, there isn't much else to say other than stating the obvious. This was a disappointing watch for me, to say the least. Hopefully, I'm wrong and the events that came after this CPW show weren't complete slogs. I don't think I'll care enough to stick around to see whether or not they do, though.